all the infantry. Oh my god, retreat. Retreat, Avenger, before you need avenged. Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17, and today I'm covering a 4v4 on the map White Ball Express. There we go. We got a number of interesting players to showcase today, but before I do that, I do want to, of course, go over a couple things. One, if you have an awesome game, like this one hopefully is, submit it down below to my Gmail or my Discord. It really helps out the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. The other thing I do want to bring up, of course, is if you want to support the channel further, like, subscribe on YouTube, check out my Patreon down below, and hey, I got Greyshot Productions merch as well, so go check out that stuff. But without further ado, let's get to the players in this game, shall we? And we got a number of players. We got blue, G Dot. We got light blue, Marcellus versus Milam. White, 8 equals D, so we'll just call him white. Artem and Avenger DFA, so we'll just say Avenger. Anyway, in this game, we got ourselves 2 Soviet, 2 Brits versus 3 OKW, and an Aus tier. But hey, if you have an awesome mix of players, again, submit it. Just give your name, short descriptions, that way I know what to look out for, and of course, your name, so I give you a shout out. And of course, it's 4K Saturday, so this is done by one of my awesome supporters on Patreon, or maybe even a subscriber on Twitch, YouTube member, or another supporter. So again, thank you all for very kindly helping my channel grow, and let's watch as the British hold back the OKW, even though the OKW did grab the fuel, but it looks like the Allies are really doubling down on the Axis. I love all these guys hiding here. It's like, guys, there's only so much tractor to go around. I do have strategic zoom on so I can see wide out into the area, and what can I see? Well, the Allies being pushed back on the right. Actually, hold on. Maybe not. Artem going with a scout car with Penals pushing the Pioneers away. A Faust, though, is likely from Grenadier, but luckily he kept his distance and was able to get the heck out of there. Penals pull back while the scout car most likely moves behind the British MG to get some repairs. Engineer moving back to do exactly that. Soviet forces built cover, and now we're keeping the Germans at bay. Conscripts moving in maybe to grab the territory, while the Universal Carrier gets healed by Recovery Squad. That's because White went with Royal Engineer Regiment. Most likely, again, stronger engineer up front, plus you get Aphyria later on. Very good commander, in my opinion. We also got Avenger going with an advanced placement. This one's good if you can hold territory. I like hold the line because, again, how much damage you can do. Also like this, minus 20% received accuracy on tallest squads fairly territory. Didn't know that. That's from a text mod I currently have that allows me to know all that stuff. Free to use, even in multiplayer. That is totally fine because, again, it doesn't change any gameplay. It just gives you more detail about the game itself. Kubel technically should lose against the Universal Carrier, but add in a Raketenwerfer, the odds change. And nice shot by Marcellus knocks out that possible issue. Unfortunately, double scout car against Kubel. Scout car got, unfortunately, that easy kill because the Kubel got a little bit cocky in that approach. But hey, good job. Raketenwerfer does hit the scout car. No Faust because he doesn't have the headquarters operational yet. He hasn't even made it. But the Grenadiers have Faust and say goodbye to that scout car. Engineer gets out as it explodes. The scout car is trying to get the hell out. Nice attempt at a scout car push, but unfortunately, you have to stay away from the Grenadier because it will absolutely destroy your light vehicles if you're on the Allies. But Flamethrower doing a decent job at harassing the OKW's infantry with its Flamethrower. The light machine guns on here are doing actually quite a bit with the Flamethrower in tandem. Unfortunately, Stern Pioneers do get the kill, but I feel like the Engineer got more than enough in terms of DPS on the German infantry. So, yeah, they'll get the fuel, but I think the health is going to be something that might throw the OKW off. Who, and by the way, scavenger doctrine, so he gets a little more resources and munitions. So that's a nice little bonus, but again, I think he has to be very careful with the Penals and MG circling about. We have a mortar pick going down from White. Let's see what else. Oh, I'm sorry, we have JLIs. Okay, he is starting to produce some of them. Alright, so Scavenge has that ability and looks like he'll take it. Penal's actually putting pressure on the Volk. Will he get the kill with that squad? It's very low. He might get one more model. Will he get another one? No, it looks like they will escape. But again, heavy losses to the OKW player. I mean, same thing to the Soviet. Artem only has 3 units right now. He lost 2 of the light vehicles, but he did force the OKW to entirely retreat. So, I don't know. We'll see if it's worth it if the British can really lay down the pressure and bring up the support equipment to hold the front, right? Because on Red Ball, the front matters because it's all VPs, fuel, and munitions. Munitions, of course, a little off from the from mid, but the VP and the fuels essentially make up the entirety of the front line in this game. So, it's very important that you hold, well, all of those to win the game, if you can. But a majority, of course, to gain an advantage over the enemy. Assault Officer is unfortunately losing to the Sturm. Nice grenade, though, turns the tide and allows the the Assault Officer to at least gain a little bit of advantage before having to make a retreat. I'm assuming he's going to fully retreat because I don't see a heal on the front. But he's walking it back. That's curious. Is he going to build a fort assembly to heal? The Soviets don't have, do they? No, they guard mortar. So Milam with guard mortar. Nice Faust, by the way. Or, no, shot from the Raketenwerfer. Excellent job. But yeah, no, they don't have a position to heal. So, dude, I don't know where you're going, but you're gonna need to, you know, get an ambulance. Oh, I'm sorry, there's no Americans. You're gonna need to get a, fort assembly. Luckily, it looks like he is making that. While his mortar pit is on fire, so that's not gonna help. So, yeah, luckily, again, fire is coming down on it, but while bracing, it doesn't take too much damage, but fire is persistent and will annoy it even after it's braced. We do have a machine gun moving on in. The Germans do have an MG34 and a support gun, plus the Raketenwerfer to destroy the cover placed. So very good job. Again, I like how they're trying to see. It's like, okay, what do the Allies have? Mortar pit, all this stuff. We're going to counter it. We're going to destroy their cover, knock out their support weaponry, and so far their light vehicles. Allied light vehicles have been absolutely wrecked this game. White phosphorus coming down from what? Is it the mortar? Mortar pit is actually calling that in, thanks to advance emplacement. Okay, very nice. Causing absolute havoc to that German blob. Although, to be fair, the Penals might die. No, they survive. Holy God. Artem doing, getting very lucky with that approach. Guard and Penal advancing and firing on the Volk, forcing the unit back. Running into White Phosphorus again. They're going to burn up on retreat, causing Markulis just even more pain. Because, like, oh, great, I have to heal my guys. No, now you really need to reinforce and heal because, yeah, they're substantially low with that White Phosphorus barrage. It does knock out the mortar pit a little bit longer, but, again, can be worth it, especially if it's a blob dead on. It gets a lot of units within its barrage. Infantry section got some good shots on the MG, forcing it back. There is a bunker, though, made by the austere player. Remember, the only austere player, he's going to be solely dedicated to having to get fuel and munitions in terms of caches. Otherwise, his team's going to start really suffering later on. But right now, the Axis do have a Panzer II, and the British have a mortar pit and a Bofors, right? So that's the only real way they're going to hurt this thing, and you're going to be damn lucky to hit this with the mortar pit, right? You're going to need the heavy hits, and that's even less likely. So really the Bofors is where you're going to actually get the damage done. He's trying to direct fire, but the house is in the way, so great angling by Markulis here. Meanwhile, again, you have his ally, a light blue, coming on in, trying to help out and grab territory. Got to give that a shout out. Nice job. At least some units took some heavy hits. Artem having to, lost his Petros rifle. Let's see, middle's open. Hopefully they can grab that. Mortar pit's about to die from fire. So again, great use of the support gun, which if he's using fire, G-Dot win Firestorm. That's pretty much certain. Conscripts in the 120, thanks to Milam, are trying to hold back the Axis, but alas, they did grab the VP. And right now, the Allies do have a bit of a lead, about 100 points, which is great. It's a solid lead. Oh my God. Lead them. Okay, as I said about the lead. Lead them right in. Damn it. Wait. Oh my God, he's teasing me. Oh! Now that's a spicy demo. Absolutely amazing. Blowing up that OKW squad, and the Germans went flying. Wonderful kill by Milam. And absolutely devastated G-Dot's men. Now, G-Dot has one squad, but now with that one man literally torn to smithereens, the Soviets have advantage in manpower on the field, on the front, and can easily push back those Volk. More Volk coming in from blue to try to counter. But again, we have the mortar and the Ziskan, which could support if needed. Additional infantry and armor coming on in. Where is his ally? The Brits chilling. They don't have much. So, maybe not. Well, no, he'll still grab the territory, maybe. But I don't think Milam's going to hold it for too long unless he gets damn lucky. Looks like his gun and all the other stuff had to be pulled back because of blue pushing on in. Which, by the way, light blue and Margulis have done a really good job taking the fuel and also the VP. The Soviets taking heavy hits. The Brits taking some heavier hits, having to make another mortar pit. And lost the Beaufort. Oh, I don't know if you want to keep making fortifications, but you know, it's a strategy. It is 100% a strategy you can use, but with the enemy has a lot of artillery, it becomes a situation where it becomes a strategy that's earning less and less positive results, right? You're putting more in than what you're actually taking out. So there's a specific word I'm forgetting. My brother's an accountant. He should know that, and I should know that, but alas, forgetting it. I know it's not a definition of insanity, but it's something. Anyway, had a long day. Let's see what happens with this Beaufort, which has the infantry section now inside to assist, but with the MG and the mortar opening fire, actually 2 mortars opening fire, plus for a cannon warfare, it's not looking great to be fighting against this. It's not looking great to be this Beaufort right now, and any infantry section fighting against those Germans. But we'll see. Hold on. The cannon warfare is on the front, hitting it with AT fire. Volk squad as well, hitting the infantry section. Panzer II just chilling, just trying to get a good shot on target. All the infantry oh my god, retreat. Retreat, Avenger! Before you need avenged. Oh my god. Oh, Beaufort's getting some good hits, though. They're focusing on the MG, not on the Beaufort, and the artillery is coming in on that side. Counterattack, though, by the Soviets. AT gun backing up the conscripts and MG, plus a half-track to reinforce so he doesn't have to fully retreat. That's his best shot at holding the fuel, because right now they need it. Axe is getting double fuel, and right now munitions is even, but still, it's not looking great. Panzer II being hit by the Beaufort, takes some heavy hits, but Beaufort on its last legs, even though it does have the improved fortification, can take additional hits, but that's about it, as it's down to about 15% health. Soviet forces, though, mostly backed up by guards with DPs, and penals are slowly pushing back light blue. Light blue, though, does an MG, so now the Soviets are falling back. They at least grabbed the VP, and now they're starting to continue to put on that pressure against the Germans. And now the Germans are about 120 points down. It's fine, but we do need to see a change in tactics, and looks like that might be mid. Looks like blue is gone there. Hopefully hold back the infantry section coming on in. They can throw incendiary. They could have the half-track fire upon it. Whatever the case may be, they need to make sure they hold on to that territory as well as the left. While all their forces move to mid, they forgot about the left-hand side, and right now the Soviets might be going for an easy pick on that victory point. Double AT as well, so even if the Germans do get use their fuel to get armor, we're not going to see a Panzer IV just suddenly turn the tide and really start putting on the pressure on the Allies. It's not going to be that. The Allies have more than enough firepower to keep them at bay. Looks like artillery fires, though, hurting the inbound German infantry. Volk squad's taking a pounding from the 120. Fire, though, coming down to stop the Allies from easily moving over. Beaufort destroyed. Mortar pits still trying to do their best, but I don't know how many times you have to build a Beaufort before you realize I don't think it's going to work. The Soviet forces are trying to keep things stable, but we have some men slipping behind the lines. I'm curious as to why. Maybe throw incendiary grenade, but guards easily with their DPs pick off that Volk. Let's see. Support guns. Actually, 2 of them. One Vet 2 with 9 kills. Not too shabby. The other one is about to get Vet 1. This gun and MG try to hold the front. Doctrine-wise, we actually have 2 guard mortar. Interesting strategy. We'll see if it pays off. Germans have yet to pick all of their commanders. But again, if the Allies, an issue I could see is, one, they have direct strike, but they don't have something versing. Well, no, they could use marked target, but it's something where I could see a tank destroyer or heavier armor maybe being more of a nuisance, but marked target could alleviate that. We'll see. Right now, the white phosphorus and mortar fires actually pushing back the Germans. White Foster's coming in, stopping the German infantry from easily coming on in. But again, Light Blue's coming around the flank with the Panzer II as well. Guards are doing what they can, but they can only be stretched so much. There are 3 Grenadiers and 2 guards. Infantry section, though, coming on in. We have Hold the Line active, which, if the Germans cross into enemy territory, the RAF comes in, and they come in hot and fast. Panzer II taking heavy hits from the Penals. Artillery, though, coming in on the Bofor as well. That would be the 105. RAF strafing some of the German infantry. Again, the 105, you can see here, it does alleviate how much in terms of resources you need to actually get the bonuses. I always wondered that, but yeah, so it's not as much as you may think, but yeah, 300 munitions to allow this 180 munition to do the damage. Weird ability, could be good, but again, that's why I want the additional details, which is great with this text mod. Anyway, Engineer, which has done so well, has Vet 3 trying to take up the front. The Germans, though, are not too far behind. They have a medical station here via the bunker to heal. There's a medical facility via the OKW. So they have a different, multiple different areas where they can slowly reinforce and heal up their forces, even if they have to get a little bit further from the front. Again, still, we have pressure back from the Germans, trying to bring down the VP, the VP lead the Allies have. Right now they have about 60 VPs ahead, but that's slowly closing on in, with 3 VP points maybe switching over. Nice kill on the Soviet mortar. That was a Vet mortar that you just lost. Better not lose that Engineer. You better not. Damn it, artillery kills the Engineer. That was really hyping up. 120 about to die. Brumbar coming on in, and all the Soviet infantry is off the front. Not only is this Bofor in mortal danger, but so too are the mortar pits. But luckily, White comes on in with 2 6-pounders. The British AT from the other player, who's predominantly now in mid, is coming over to save his ally, and that was right on time. And marked targets also in effect, which causes additional damage, or I should say damage modifiers. Again, 35% more damage on the target vehicle. So wonderful job right there with the AT coming in clutch. 7-man conscripts as well. Maybe not the highest kill count, but they are doing enough to push the German infantry back. So again, Milam doing what he can to battle on the left. We got White currently battling in mid with infantry section pushing forward, actually stealing a support gun. Engineer with the flamethrower must have burned it and killed it with mortar fire support. And now they might be able to take it. That would be a big win. But Volk Squad see that and are trying to intercept the support gun from being stolen. Down to about quarter health. They will be close, but I don't think this British will be able to take it. Nope. They are it's decrewed. That doesn't mean the Germans can easily take it themselves. There's still a lot of British forces, and now we have an MG going into the church, which could cause some havoc. On the right, we have a T-34-85, so better main gun, opening fire on the German forces. Rickenwerfer opening fire on the T-34. Panzer II still in the front. Good kill count, but again, guard troops are there, and they have AT along with Penals, so we can't just easily walk on in and just smash infantry. It can be intercepted at medium ranges with those AT rifles, so let's be very careful. Same thing with the T-34-85. A Faust could easily track it, cause some engine issues, and allow the Germans to get some heavy hits on it. But again, I look, and while again they have a Stuka, right? He spent the fuel on the Stuka, so he has 1 AT, and this guy has Faust, but he doesn't have like a big AT gun. Pack 43 possibly imminent, we'll see. Depends on the Bofors. Bofors still causing havoc, maybe not. But the other thing is he doesn't have a pack gun or anything like that. Okay, now he's getting a Stug, which I think is necessary against his T-34-85. Bofors comes on in, causes some havoc, but not too much against the heavier emplacement. But infantry section taking heavy hits. He's down to 2 squads. That's not good at 20 minutes. You need more men to duke out in the front. And so far, the Soviets are allowing you the ability to duke it out, but he himself needs to make sure he gets fuel and have the resources to get that. Grenade hits the MG, but again, it can reinforce through this facility, which is exactly what he's doing. He can also heal from that base, which, by the way, we have a direct strike coming in on it. Hopefully they can knock out the building. Building goes down, and again, the forward resupply station the Austere made not only is unavailable, but the direct strike even crippled the Brumbar, which is a big win. That keeps the Brumbar off the front a little bit longer, even as Marcoles Markelos, sorry, launches his attack. White Phosphorus comes on in, forcing the enemy back. Bofers still alive with the mortar pits, getting about 23 kills. Soviet forces holding behind cover. This gun is well on standby. We actually have a Jagdpanzer and a Hetzer, a Flame Hetzer, that can cause havoc for the Soviet infantry. But again, we do have an AT gun, which has done so far pretty good at keeping them back. AT grenades can be thrown from Milam's conscripts and a Katyusha to hold back those pesky OKW blobs. So he's looking pretty good. I like his overall composition. So Milam's looking pretty solid. White, I wish he had more front line, but again, he's kind of mixing it in with his Royal Engineer squads, which have flamethrowers, so they can definitely do the work if used right. Half track, though, trying to stop the infantry section from grabbing the territory. There is an AT gun, the 6-pounder moving on in. Looks like he did lose one, but as long as he keeps the rest alive, or sorry, this remaining one alive, they'll have AT. But again, needs to be very careful. Oh, I'm sorry, Milam took it. Milam took his other AT gun. Oh, well, Soviet forces will find good use for it. Flame Hetzer down to about 35% health. Panzer II pulling back. Artillery smashing White's forces. Again, his forward assembly and his mortar pit, both barely alive. 120 still trying to hammer the front. Looks like it has been hammered pretty effectively with a German MG going down. We have Markelos going more. Oh, nice kill! 120's down. Artem down to 4 units. I don't know what happened, but I think that either the constant losses he was suffering with that Stuka finally took out some major units on the retreat. I'm thinking maybe, because it looks like some Soviet forces were hit. But wonderful hit by Markelos. Yeah, he definitely got some squads. 27 kills with that Stuka, and it recently got sent out. So yeah, wonderful shots then. Panzer II opening fire in the infantry section. Again, Vet 2 now going to hit Vet 3 here in a second. Great job there. Again, Panzer II at Vet 1, it's cautious movement. That's Vet 2. Again, additional accuracy and more shots. Vet 3 increases speed and sight. So not something to be trifled with, especially once it gets to even further veterancy. Once it goes beyond the normal capabilities of a Panzer II and reaches Panzer II Ace. Oh, God. But yeah, no, some great abilities and stuff it gets. Suppressing fire, again, very interesting. But I digress. British forces are launching a counterattack once again on the left, hopefully grabbing the fuel. VP-wise, again, the Axis are the ones down right now. About 120 VPs. Nice kill from the Germans on that assault officer. FG section, 15 kills. Let's not lose that. AT gun returns fire, though, on the Flame Hetzer. And looks like we have a flame barrage coming in from White. Again, he's trying to keep the German infantry at bay and burn out the MG to maybe allow for a counterattack. But even though he has a T-34-85, Milam's infantry is still healing. So it's going to be like 30 seconds to a minute before he comes in again. That might give the Germans just enough time to bring in reinforcements to hold the front, but we'll see. On the far right, again, we have the VP decapped. We have all the guards and a penal squad moving on in. Another T-34-85 being made. I love the T-34-85 against infantry and armor, but I think an S-285 might be better. Stuka comes on in, but luckily braced to take those hits. Panzer II, though, causing massive damage against the British forces and keeping at bay the infantry. This brace ends soon, and if the Panzer II is lucky enough, he might be able to kill that unit. But what's this 6-pounder? Comes in on in. Panzer II is Vet 4, almost Vet 5, but is hit by an ET grenade thanks to the Royal Engineer Regiment, which scared it off. Sturm Pioneer might be able to get it some heals, hopefully. 19 kills, nothing to sneeze at. But again, the mortar pits have about 11, 13. So, love artillery, but sometimes a good frontline unit can easily rack up more kills. I say this with the Stuka 27, but you get my point. Nice shot with the Brumbar, using its bunker buster ability to hit longer range, knocking out the AT guns, making sure the Panzer II and itself are fine from AT fire. T-34-85, though, moving on in to intercept. Let's see. Being hit by a Stug. Forced back, because again, a Stug is AT, so that light tank destroyer can still force the unit away. We have an LEFH to cause more havoc for the allies. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought there, but yeah, no, definitely can cause some hell. Oh, Blue went Overwatch? Oh, he also got artillery. It was also gotten some hits. Plenty of AT. 2 AT guns. Also a Stuka with 22 kills. So I like how, like, you have one guy with more frontline tanks. Not necessarily a Panther or Panzer IV, but, you know, the Jagdpanzer, the Flamehatzer are pretty solid. And then you have the other gentleman going AA and a Stuka with artillery. So I like how they complement each other very well. White has finally gotten his AVRE. Milam as Katusha has caused some more havoc. Let's see. Mortar pits are still alive, which I'm surprised by. But Stuka might end it. Yeah, oh my god. Not only does he kill the rail engineer, but I think even though braced, the fire will slowly kill that mortar pit. AVRE, though, I'm hoping for some good hits. I really am. Soviet forces continue to try their best to hold the left-hand VP. Again, that's what's bringing the Axis down, is the VPs the Allies hold. And if the VPs go to 0, I don't care how many battles you win, you lose the game. So, conscripts, so long as they hold with all the support and the half-track reinforcing, and Vet 2, by the way, we can see here, increases reinforcement range, so it can be a little farther back and outside the range of fire. Both literally by AT and also by the support gun. So, there's Volk Squad going behind this, but the chain effect from both Volk Squads being close proximity will cause both of them to slow down. So again, really good stuff. Stuka dodges the inbound, mortar, there. MG dodges the inbound Stuka fire. Katusha, though, returning fire. Stuka dodges, but looks like this infantry support gun may not be so lucky, and it might die here from the barrage. Super low. And on the far right, actually, a Soviet dive does way more than I expected. Not only do they capture the VP, but they did cause some havoc for Light Blue, causing some major he's down to 2 Grenadiers. I didn't realize how bad that push was. But so too is Markulis. He's down to, what, 2 front line? And you have the Engineer, or the Sturm Pioneer, sorry. But Panzer 2? I mean, like, he has to get a Jagdpanzer or something to counteract the Firefly and also everything else. Stuka still targeting the mortar pits. Again, one is confirmed dead. The other one, you probably should maybe focus on the frontline forces. Though, again, Avenger only has 1 frontline force. So, more like the Royal Engineers healing it. Because, again, they'll just keep healing. Every time you fire, they're just going to heal. By the time this thing fires again, it's just going to heal. Fire's your best shot against this. Hold on. Flanking maneuver by the T-34s. Knocks out the Stu. The Brumbar trying its best. The Pioneer picked up a PTRS rifle. That's how desperate the Germans are right now. Mark target? No. He just got buttoned by the guards. Okay. Well, T-34s pull back. Raketwerfer does fire. The 185 is desperately low. Needs to get the heck out of there. But, are we going to get a Faust? No, he doesn't get a Faust off. Okay. Interesting. We have 6-pounder guarding that territory. We have a half-track and a Jagdpanzer, again, overwatching it. Germans grab the VP. Again, they're trying to catch up with the Allies. The Allies still have about a 160-point lead. It's going to be a tough road ahead. Nice job with the artillery. Panzer headquarters taking a lot of hits. Also, artillery coming in from the British. Get airburst shells is the reason why I know that. Plus, again, the direct strike that was... Yep, precision barrage. And things are not looking great. That is also a good point. The Allies don't have heavy artillery beside what the British can use from their base. But it was enough for them to knock out the Panzer headquarters, which is going to stop Markulis. Even though he has tons of manpower, he doesn't have the fuel for a king. So no armor anytime soon from that guy, which is going to suck for him bursting not only the 85s, but also the Firefly. Because again, even though you get a king, the Firefly has range on you and can definitely ping you with rockets. Maybe the 85 could, with a marked target, easily push back a singular heavy vehicle. So, something to keep in mind. Bofors trying to go down once again. Is able to. The Grenadiers will take heavy losses from the Bofors being set up. And again, we're starting to see the Soviet Artem Avenger really come back swinging against the Germans. Germans are now the ones on the back foot, though plenty of manpower, so we'll see maybe if they can bring something out to help turn the tide on the front. Centaur being developed. Again, he also got the command vehicle ability, which helps boost other things at the detriment of that vehicle. But hey, I'm glad he gave it to the Centaur, rather a unit that I'm assuming you got in case the enemy deploys planes. rather than give it to the Aviary, which is way more effective the more it fires on the front. Right? King Tiger, that big heavy vehicle I mentioned, is on the front. He needs to worry about Milam using marked target. But Milam only has that T-34 with 2 AT guns that are right now trying to reposition. So only one is able to fire, and it bounced. Both shots bounce. Oh, God. And the Flamehetzer goes for the AT gun. His other one's setting up against it. No infantry to focus on the AT gun. So right now, the only thing they have is the Flamehetzer. AT gun focusing on the King. King trying, but again, the 85. It's actually pretty weak. I don't think he wants to keep it on the front. One AT gun goes down. The second one gets killed by the stern. It does go down. Okay. Little bit wary for both sides, but looks like the Germans were able to effectively use their what limited infantry and armor they had to neutralize both AT guns and drive the 85 back. Again, Katusha, I can see Creeping Barrage try to kill this stuff, maybe even knock out the unit that's healing. 3 85s are on standby on the right. Hopefully the Germans have something. Aviary fired in mid. Looks like he was able to get up to Vet 2. So, not sure what he hit, but heck of a hit. Let's see. Recovery squad's trying to take mid. King Tiger might stop him. Again, he is marked, so these guys need to... well, sorry, the King Tiger needs to make sure he keeps the distance. Otherwise, their engineer can throw a T-grenade. Great shot by the King. Volk squad might get the kill. Stuka hitting the enemy on retreat. Not able to kill the infantry section, but the engineer died by the Volk. Big push with 385s. Pack guns go down. That's... Hold on. Another one being brought up, but it's nowhere close to the front. Brumbar trying its best, firing heavy shots against the T-34s. While one is crippled, the other two are generally fine. Pioneers could pick up the pack. They will to help against the armor, but they're just going to back up behind the house. Raketwerfer is well deployed, so at least the Germans have something. But against the guards, the Grenadiers are very low, and the Pioneers as well, so not looking all too great. Need to refocus. King Tiger. Oh, fire coming down. It's a... How do you like it, says the Brits, who's been on the receiving end of Firestorm the entire match. Burns the support gun that's been dishing out the fire on him. So, hey, good shot. Actually, no, sorry. It was technically G-Dot's support gun doing it, but I thought he had 2. No, he had 2 AT guns. Okay, so this was the other gentleman's, but it's close enough. They got some of the artillery. Well, there goes some of the infantry. Aviary's like, not today. You're not taking mid. German forces, though, look like they have enough men to hold left. Middle, though, Allies should be able to take it back. On the right, though, it looks like the T-34s just causing absolute... Artem has been getting his revenge. He's lost so much this game, but his 85s are making up for it and doing much, much more. Might be able to knock out the medical facility. No mines here. I get it. You didn't have stuff earlier, but still. 85s are able to just run around without much... stopping them. Raketwerfer goes down. Artillery helping to kill it from the British. Even though Grenadiers hold back the guards, they kill the AT guns, so the 85s have nothing stopping them. Stuka trying to hit the units on the retreat. Oh, does! Oh, hell of a Stuka! So many kills! Oh my god, Royal Engineers died. He had some of the, again, Soviet forces died. Heck of a Stuka. Wonderful job, Markelis. Hey, you might be losing your infantry, but your Stuka's still causing absolute hell, and Avenger exactly doesn't have the manpower right now. I mean, he's seeing a Churchill, so that's helping. And it looks like one of the 85s died thanks to pack fire, so wonderful job. I love this. Blue brought over his Raketwerfer. He's like, God dang it. All right, I'll help. But what's not helping is the VPs. Allies still have a lead of nearly 200 points, so they've actually gained VPs in the time being. Meanwhile, again, White and Milam both doing exceptionally well. Katusha up to Vet 3 now, and I'm assuming got some great hits against these guys over here. We have more fire coming down on the MG, keeping the German forces at bay, so Blue can't easily move up, but the British hopefully can grab the territory. Aviary charging. Maybe a good shot on the King or the support gun. Either would be great. Let's see. It's going to be close. Hits either he was aiming for the support gun and the King got in the way, or the King dove in front to take the Aviary shot. But Aviary got tons of veterancy from it. Firefly dishing out the damage. Also, King is marked. Goes down to the Firefly. I don't know. I would have lost that support gun, not lost the King. The King's way too expensive, honestly. And And you don't have the fuel to bring it back out, so that's a huge loss. Luckily, G-Dot has his own King Tiger, but still, you don't want to go losing a King instead of a support gun, right? It's not ideal. But, again, we have an S-285 and a T-34 guarding the front, and while the Soviets grab the territory. Meanwhile, 3 T-34s once again push deep into enemy lines. And again, these JLIs have no Faust. They can't do anything against these 85s. They'll just get shredded. So right now, the entirety of this flank is open. And we can see a domino effect. Panzer Headquarters goes up and might come right back down thanks to the 85s if nothing stops them. Panther, you might want to stop this. You might get marked. But still, you might want to stop that. Pack guns and Canwurfers better reposition. Because, yeah, these 85s are just cleaning house. Luckily, again, Margulis does have infantry, but he doesn't have enough to hold this back. And we have Firefly as well backing him up. And a Churchill that I called out earlier. So, all this is about to hit mid. And right now, while the pack gun line would be perfect, it's not set up correctly to deal with all this. So, we'll see. Again, Germans capturing the mid, but the left, again, held back by the Soviets, which have a good wide mix of forces and some solid veterancy. Meanwhile, the Churchill helps kill the Panzer Headquarters. Pack gun line, though, hitting the T-34s. This could be a trap for the 85s. Pack guns opening fire. One might go down. They do. T-34 goes down. Churchill trying to come in to save the T-34s. But it might not be enough. More AT fires. Another one goes down. AT being brought in. AT strafes. Panther gets knocked out in a weird. Oh, Firefly and Churchill must have done that with 85s. Because repositioning could have helped it. Because I think it was showing its rear to all this. The Soviets lost all of their armor. And they only have enough for one more. So that probably wasn't worth it. But the British at least got out. Again, I think the planes that also was called in by Blue helped at least make sure that the 85s died via the strafes, but it's a lot of losses. A lot of losses Artem just took. So we'll see if maybe the Germans are able to, counterattack and maybe with the pack line, stun and kill this Churchill. Again, people forget, but I will reiterate, target weak point. Never underestimate target weak point to stun armor. Even if it's a big armor unit like this, you can stun it and you can get a couple more hits in and help kill it, right? It's kind of like you're in any sort of fighting game or something, right? And after you dodge the boss's moves, he starts huffing and puffing, and then you go in, right? I don't, the game I think of is like the Arkham series, right? Where you're literally fighting as Batman, you're able to get in blows. But there's plenty of games that do that. Whatever. From Remember Me to all this stuff. Again, simple boss fight mechanics. Just think of it like CoH2, right? That button can help you bring down the heaviest of armor. Fire pushes back the pack line. Brumbar trying, though, to hold back the guards. And you know what? They send the penals packing. And guards are not faring much better, also being pushed back by the bunker busters. So, the light blue trying his best. At least he has a decent amount of manpower, but he needs more men. He needs 100% more frontline men. Though AVRE might see to his destruction. We'll see if those recovery squads can heal fast enough for him to move up. King marked, took some heavy hits. Guarded by AT, though. 85, though, trying to push, but I think there's too much AT. This 85 is going to die. He does. Katusha focusing on the Raketenwerfers. They're going to retreat. Take some heavy hits, though. Jagdpanzer keeping the S-25 back. He could go for the kill. Hold on. G-Dot misses the shot in the dark because, again, he can't see through fog of war, I assume. Nope. So he fires in the dark, unable to hit target. And alas, the Soviets are able to keep their S-285 alive. That could have been very bad for Milam, but luckily he got out. Now, luckily he has reserves, but still, he did lose something major. Also, looks like Avery hit the building rather than hitting the Volk. Not great, but luckily the 7-man squad of conscripts will force the Volk squad to retreat. And again, got it. Tip my hat. Avenger, I did not think he would be holding the right-hand side because he was barely holding the Bofors and the mortar pits when they're active. But you know what? With the Soviets' help, he's been doing pretty good. Still going to take a little bit for the Soviets to regain all the 85s they had earlier, but doesn't matter. Right now, doing very well. They're holding mid. They're holding majority of the VPs in general, so Oh, okay. Well, so long as the allies don't lose too many men and keep holding the VPs, I think they'll be fine. Also, gotta give a shout out to the caches. Really nice job with the caches. Help out your team. Again, 67 munitions. Pretty damn good amount coming in for the allies. Milam, again, having tons of manpower as well. I think the highest in the game. Yep. Light Blue's close, but again, I think he needs more front line. Margulis just needs a stable front. But he abandoned his side. He's just fighting in mid, which could be a detriment for him not fighting over this VP. I think that's a huge missed opportunity. I know he has a small army, but I think it would be better instead of guarding mid. Again, we have the left-hand side. Luckily, GDOT was able to counter and push the Soviets away, but it's only one VP. They need two. King Tiger is on the front. Light Blue moving up his AT against the Centaur. Firefly walking into that death trap as well. There's 3 tanks, anti-tank units there. Let's keep away from that Firefly. Let's not risk it. Jagdpanzer trying to get in close with camouflage, but right now, the main attention's mid. That's the only way I see the allies, the Axis taking an area back. But Churchill and Firefly with some infantry pushing on in. There's a couple Panzer headquarters that can return fire. Hold on, pack line! Button! Button! Nope. Not gonna button. Did not button in time. So, that's, Avengers like more AT. It might work. I agree, but to be fair, he actually, the amount of AT he has fine, he just needs the button. He needs to stop and pin that armored vehicle so it's stunned, essentially, and then get it a few more shots, and he would have killed it. He would have also stopped it from being able to use smoke, but what do I know? Anyway, AFG section, 5 men, along with guards, and hell, even White's AFG section, he has not upgraded to 5 man, which is a big mistake, but with an MG42 he stole from the Grenadiers, is holding on to mid. That's pretty damn funny. But allies will hold on to the territory, even with a Soviet charge. And to be fair, Milam can lose some men. I don't think GDOT can, lose quite as many armored vehicles. And as the game ends, due to VPs, the King Tiger goes down. What a way to finish it. Hell of a last shot on that King Tiger. Excellent job right there. But yeah, that's going to be it. That's game. And what a great game that was. Thank you so much, Milam, for not only being an amazing Patreon supporter and helping me out on my channel, but for submitting this game. Because you know what? I actually think this is pretty good. Because it showcased a couple different things. One, more AT does not necessarily mean that you're going to easily hold back light armor. Or any armor, for that matter. You need to be able to use its abilities or position it well. And while sometimes the 85s, I think when they charged in, might have charged in a bit too deep, again, I think they could have killed a lot more with those AT guns. I think also, even though you had counters to mortar pits, I was surprised the fact the mortar pits were still able to keep fighting. So again, really good job as the Brits for holding on against so much fire and keeping yourselves in the game. Milam getting top damage, but top kills goes to Artem, and that makes sense based on his dives and his infantry. We'll see how effective that was. Light Blue got 40k damage. And top kills is a tie. Very rare for that, but it's a tie between Blue and Margulis. I think both did decently well. Margulis, though, I think failed a little bit later on because I feel like abandoning your front was a bad call. Especially when the Soviets lost majority of their army, right? A majority of the 85s. I feel like you could have fought more on that flank and really caused some havoc. Also, I'm going to be honest. I don't think JLIs were worth it. I think having some bulk, some ability to Faust, with some and also spreading out your men a bit more would have been so much better, right? But I think your Stuka was pretty top-notch. Jagdpanzers by GDOT, yeah, it was pretty good. Also, Sport Gun got plenty of kills. Let's see, Blue got good shots with the Raketenwerfer, and again, I think the Stuka that he had was pretty good. Or was that Light Blue? Sorry. No, Light Blue was the austere. And Light Blue, pack guns, pretty solid. But again, I think buttoning would have been better. He did take some heavy hits. Also, Brumbar. Brumbar was surprisingly, holding on. I thought it was going to die to the 85s multiple times. But no, it survived after being marked and still kept harassing guards and penal forces. Raketenwerfer, again, got a decent number of kills. But again, did lose quite a bit. And Margulis, I think your Stuka had some amazing hits. So I will give you that. Avenger, yeah, I think you were fine. I think your preservation could have been a bit better. And I think your mortar pit, stuff like that, died in mass, but you know what? You did have a good amount of tenacity. And I will say, it was probably a mixture of you and Artem's just resilience on that front really helped make it interesting. Because I truly thought you guys lost that front multiple times. But no, you guys kept fighting. Eventually, you're able to push back. On a front where I thought was going to be the other side. I thought Milam was going to be the front that he is able to hold. But no. Guard forces, I thought, did pretty well, though, again, they definitely took hits from the Brumbar. 85s, great dives. You destroyed so many buildings and knocked out so many pieces of armor. Wonderful push with them. White, I thought he did a really good job fighting for the fuel in mid. Even sure, he did lose it a little bit. Remember, there had to have been 2 VPs that were consistently under Allied control for them to gain such a lead. And I thought he did a really good job constantly pressuring the Germans and making them lose it. So, again, really good job at keeping the enemy away. Also, Aphyria got some good shots, and I'll say, what was it? Your AT guns as well did a pretty good job of keeping a lot of the armor at bay. Conscripts, pretty solid stuff, especially with their veterancy. S285 got some good shots, especially I love the final shot against the King. Again, Katusha did amazing work against the inbound infantry and stopping blobs and such. So, Milam, I thought you did a really good job. I thought you versed probably one of the better Axis players. Like, even though G-Donk didn't get as much damage, I still thought he did pretty well. Blue, I thought, was better. I thought Blue supporting G-Dot was probably the better of the two. But I thought he did a really, Blue specifically did a good job with G-Dot of keeping you guys at bay. Because I thought, if I was going to guess which front was going to take that VP and fuel, I truly thought it was going to be Milam and White, not Artem and Avenger. I thought after the front kind of started faltering for those two, I thought it was going to be over. But Preservation, Marcellus, and Light Blue started having issues. The 85s really kicked up. I thought maybe the AT for Light Blue and Marcellus wasn't necessarily the best. And I think Marcellus maybe should have gone with the Jagdpanzer sooner. That way you could have held back the 85s, or at least had a more consistent thing. Because I also think that Light Blue not waiting a little bit for the Stug was not the right call, right? Because I think one of those two should have AT, and I think that's what kind of made the right side fall apart. But hey, what do you guys think? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys have a different opinion. I would love to know down below in the comments what you guys thought of this game. But again, thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters. If you do want to support the channel, I deeply appreciate it. Like, subscribing helps me in the algorithm, do battle, and keep myself relevant. And as well, all your support allows me to keep doing what I do as this hobby continues. So thank you. This has been Greyshot17. And yes, thank you, Milam, again for making this replay. And I'll see you guys next time. Hello, everyone. This is Greyshot17. And before y'all go, let me give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Joey G240, Milam, BigChuche, Aphyria, Ace, PyroShark, Tony B95, Epic Pleb. Thank you all for your incredible support and helping me grow my channel and support my channel and everything I do. Thank you, and to the rest of you, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.